Alright, hi everybody, I am Kate, this is Split Thread, and welcome to my yarn haul. I was going to do the thing where I hold up the bag, but I'm clumsy and I dropped mine and it ripped, so I'm going to throw that over there. Anyway, so today I have a bunch of 4-weight acrylic yarn. I have a couple of different brands, I have a whole bunch of colors, but all of this yarn was purchased to make my daughter's birthday and Christmas present. I went on Ravelry and I downloaded a ton of free patterns for kitchen play sets and play food. And I have a list of items that I'm going to be making for her hopefully over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully I can get this done in time. But I picked most of the colors that I'm going to need for what I want to make. And so I'm going to start with my Caron 1 pound. I got this for $6.97. To be honest, I have no idea what these normally cost. It has been a while since I have used the Pound of Love or the Caron 1 pound. I think the last time that I bought one of these was probably 2019, because I don't think I've worked on anything that called for these since the pandemic. But, and also I was on the East Coast up until a year ago, and everything in Southern California is a lot more expensive, but $6.97 for clearance for this kind of seems a little bit high to me, but it could be a good price for California. But I needed this needed this color and I needed quite a bit of it. So one of the patterns that I found that I'm the most excited about is a play set that has pots and pans, and they're fairly detailed and the directions seem very simple. It doesn't seem like this is overly complicated, but it does make a really nice playset. And what they have is they have pots and pans that have one color on the outside and contrasting color on the inside, and then they have little handles, and there's a lot of detail and it's really pretty. But for the one in the pattern, they used 2 different colors of gray. I think they used black, and then for some of the items they had some white in there. But I have some copper pots and pans that my husband got for me from like eBay and estate sales, and they look like the French cooking pots and pans in the movie Ratatouille, if you've seen that. And so I am going to try to make my daughter's play set look like my pots and pans. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to work the outside with this yellow, and I'm going to follow the directions as normal, but then I have some thinner cotton threads in like 4-1, 8-2, 10-2. They're all smaller, like 16-2. Everything's smaller than like your size 10 Aunt Lydia's cotton crochet thread. So what I'm going to do is I'll work the single crochet for the amigurumi in the 4 weights, and then I will go along with a much smaller hook, probably a 2.75 or smaller, and I will crochet around the entire row to give like an extra layer of colors. I'll do it with several colors with the goal of trying to give it a look like a copper patina. So we'll see if that works. I will keep you posted. So there's that. Okay, and then I have a couple of these Big Twist Soft. I'm sorry, I have a couple of Big Twist. That's what I wanted to talk about. Okay, so we have Big Twist Value and Big Twist Soft. I cannot talk tonight. And this is like not my first take. Anyway, okay, so we have 2 Big Twist Values and we have a Big Twist Soft. This is the color Charcoal. It is 320 yards, calls for a US 8 or a 5mm knitting needle and a US J or a 6mm hook. Versus these two that call for 5mm knitting needles and 5mm crochet hooks. So these call for, this calls for a J hook, these call for an H. Okay, and if you notice, the Big Twist Soft is a little bit shorter, it's a little bit fatter, it's wound a little bit more loosely, and maybe the Big Twist Value is a little bit thicker, but they're both really soft. So I mean, they're not like wool soft, but they're definitely, like for acrylic, they're pretty soft. So like, I don't know, to me, it seems like the big difference is you get 380 yards versus 320. So this is a better bang for your buck because at least at my Joann's, these were the same price. These were both clearanced out for $247. So this looks like the better deal for me. But this is the colorway charcoal, and this will be the inside of my pots and pans. I do have an idea for the blue. One of my sons wanted me to crochet a lobster, but that pattern called for a 3-weight yarn, but he wants a blue lobster. So I have this. I'm going to use it as an accent on some of the baked good patterns. They have like muffins that have icing. I can use a blue for that. But this is the colorway dark denim. So I will be using bits and pieces, and then I may try to see if I can make my son's blue lobster with this, because this is the color he wanted, but I couldn't find a 3-weight at my Joann's that was the color that he wanted. So I will try that pattern and see if it works. Okay, so then this is the colorway burnt orange. And then I have another orange. I got quite a bit of Vanna's Choice. This was clearanced out for $397. All of the Vanna's Choice was $397. But this is 3.5 ounces, 100 grams. It is 170 yards, and it calls for a J hook, 6mm crochet hook, and a 9mm, I'm sorry, a size 9 or a 5mm. 5.5mm knitting needle. Okay guys, I hate the US knitting needle sizes because it's confusing to me. I would rather have everything be in millimeters. But that's a much bigger hook than I ever like to use. I don't like J hooks. I don't like size 9 knitting needles. I will probably be going a little bit smaller. But anyway, I have 2 colors of orange because several patterns that I found call for orange. You have the orange. There's a carrot cake, which I may or may not get to, but there's the carrots. There are the sushi rolls have orange. There's like a little piece of tuna on one of them that I want to do, but I want to be able to pull in a different color. Like even though they're similar, they are different, and you'll be able to see when they're next to each other. But I wanted to be able to pull in a stitch here and there in a different yarn, because that will just give my project a little bit of depth and more detail. And then when the pieces are sitting next to each other, I wanted to be able to have, you know, like the orange primarily in one versus like the carrot primarily in the other, so that they do look a little bit different. And it just makes, you know, like taking the time to add the detail is going to make it that much more special. She's going to love it no matter what, but I think I'm going to love it a little bit more just because I put that extra time into it. And orange happens to be one of my children's favorite colors. So this is the terracotta, and somebody hugged this, so that's why it's all ragged. Alright, and then I talked about that one. Okay, so next we have a lot more Vanna's Choice, and all of the details on the Vanna's Choice are the same. They were all clearanced for $397, 3.5 ounces, 100 grams, 170 yards, the size 9 or the 5.5mm knitting needle, the J hook, it's also the 6mm crochet hook. Anyway, this is the honey. We have mustard. We have, what do we have? We have taupe. We have black. We have linen. There's more. We have pink. I went a little crazy. We have shadow. And we have charcoal gray. But wait, there's more. Okay, this one cracked me up. This is the last one. Okay, so this one, the color is Fisherman. And if you told me that this had the wrong label on it and that Fisherman was actually like a muddy brown or a green, I would believe you, because this is not the color that I would call Fisherman. But here you have Fisherman. So a lot of these are going to be like accent colors, like the grays, like pot handles, the utensils, things like that. Like I want to do like the sushi roll, the outside is going to be black. Some of these like I may not use a lot of, but I did find a really cool pattern for like it's like a pie crust where like you have like the inside of the crust and then you can drop like the little pieces of fruit in, and then you have like the top of the pie crust. So I wanted to get like, let me stack all this up here. I am not building a yarn wall, and in a second I will talk about how I store my yarn, because you will never see a yarn wall on this channel other than while I'm stacking it right here. But anyway, I wanted to be able to work the pie crust in a couple different colors. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I do have a pattern, but I'm not really great at following the pattern 100%, so I will probably go mostly off the pattern and then add my own touches in here and there. But like the yellow, for instance, there's a really pretty corn on the cob pattern that one of my sons said that we have to have, and I love the way that they work it's the whole corn cob, and then they have the what do you call it, the corn silk, and they have the husk, but I want to add like a different color of yellow to do like the corn silk at the top. But around the puff stitches, I think I want to take a little bit of another color of yellow, which is why I got more yellow. But I want to like stitch around some of the little puff stitches to just give it more texture. We'll see how that looks. It might look awful. I may cut it out. I don't know. Or I may get lazy and I may not do it. But that's what I bought the yarn for. Okay, and then several of the patterns that I got call for green. There is the head of lettuce. There is the there's like an onion where you have like the little white part on the bottom, and then you have like the greens on the top, and then of course there's like the top of the carrot. Now there is a turnip that I'm definitely gonna do, but I didn't get purple. I need to go back at some point and I need to get 2 shades of purple, a light and a dark, because I want to do an eggplant, and I want to do actually I may need 3 colors, because I want to get like a purplish red for like a radish, and then of course I want to do the purple and white turnip, which I cannot remember the name of right now, and I should be able to remember the name. I have a funny turnip story sometime about me gardening. Anyway, so anyway, I needed the different colors of green, so I got the red heart, and so this is the red heart with love. This is the red heart super saver. Now these I can tell just a little bit of difference. I think the red heart with love is oh so slightly softer, but again, I think they were the same price. These were not on sale. But I have evergreen. This is size 4 medium, 100% acrylic. This calls for a K or a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, and then a US size 9 knitting needle or a 5.5 hook. And this one is 370 yards, and this one is 364, so you actually get a little bit more of the softer yarn. And this one calls for an eye hook or a 5.5 millimeter, and then it calls for a 5 millimeter knitting needle or a US size 8. So they're slightly different, but not that much. They're pretty similar. Anyway, so we'll have some lettuce, some greens, and different things. Wasabi. I like my sushi. Anyway, and then this one, this is the Red Heart Super Saver in white, the medium 4, 5.5 millimeter or USI crochet hook, a 5 millimeter or US 8 knitting needle, and again, this is 364 yards. This I got mainly to be the sushi rice because, I'm sorry, but this does not work for sushi rice. This I was thinking more of like maybe for the garlic, or some of the baked goods had icing. Like there's this little, there's a adorable little 3-tier wedding cake, and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller than the pattern calls for because my daughter's not even 2 years old yet. But they have like the little round layer cake. And so what I want to do is like, I'm going to probably do like one of the layers in pink, but I think these two look really cute together. And I may put like little crocheted flowers on it or something, or like do some like swooshes for icing. But that's what these are for. But I did not really want to use the same color for the icing as for my sushi rice. So I may find some other things to do with this. I'm not sure. One of the patterns that I have has like a mixing bowl, and you use like a main color for the outside and then an accent color for the inside. So this may end up being the inside of my mixing bowls, and then I'm probably going to make her some play kitchen towels, although I'm sure she'll still steal mine. So anyway, there is that. And then I got my very first Ogo, and this is probably going to be the only Ogo that I ever get. This was clearanced to $2.97. It is a Red Heart Super Saver, and I found all the information on the label earlier, but I hate the label. I hate the packaging so much. Okay, and I've never worked with these. I'm hating on the cardboard right now, because this is what tore my bag. Let's see, 7 ounces, 198 grams, 364 yards. Okay, like, could I just have it rolled up like this, please? Like this, I don't need this. Anyway, but they didn't have this color in the skein, so, and I needed a tomato and cherry, and I'm probably going to go back and get another shade of red at some point because I am going to need an accent color. I also found there's like a bacon and like a T-bone steak, so I'm gonna need some more red, but this is what they had. So this is the colorway cherry. They recommend a US 8 knitting needle or a 5 millimeter, and then for the crochet hook they recommend a 5.5 millimeter or a USI. And I think it was, I'm gonna go ahead and open this. Pardon the noise. I think it was on Cinnamon Stitch's channel. I watch a lot of her. But anyway, I'm pretty sure she's the one who referred to this as a toilet seat, and she's not wrong. I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't like this. I wanted it because it's new and everybody's getting them, but it's got these directions. I don't do well with directions. To begin working with the Ogo format, carefully cut plastic tie where ends of Ogo meet. Pull tie to remove. Start stitching if desired. Colors can easily be separated by gently pulling apart and cutting at color transition. Each color is ready to use. Okay, so I should probably hang on to that because I won't remember it, but I'm gonna pull this apart. Okay, so there is a plastic tie and I guess you like cut it and then here are my ends. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm not ready to do this tonight, but yeah, I might regret this. I don't know, but I like the yarn. But now I've had it and I'm not sure I need to get another one. If I change my mind and I love it, I will let you know. Anyway, this video is getting a little bit long, but I did want to show you guys I have one finished project and I have two that I've made some progress on. So this is my post-virus shawl from Bag O' Days tutorial, and pardon me for I have not blocked this and I have not woven in my ends. The only thing that I changed with mine is that because I was working in thread, I added a slip stitch to each of the chain stitches for the beginning ring. And I did that just to give it a little bit more strength. And what did I do? What did I do with Peach's shawl? This was hang on one second. Okay, I'm back. I am dropping everything tonight. Okay, so this is the one that I made for my daughter. I made this with brand new yarn. I did a big order, see, Friday before last, I had big orders from Kansas Yarn Barn and Old Mill Yarns in Michigan. And this was all from Old Mill. So we have a mommy and me matching set. I am going to be taking pictures of this and sending it to Craftin' Kitty for her Bag O' Day Creator Spotlight, and probably to KS Mom Crochets because I love her channel. She does a lot of stuff for her girls. She does a lot of really cute doll clothes, and I'm into the doll clothes. But this is a Bag O' Day pattern, and it works up really fast. But instead of doing it in like a 3 or a 4 weight, I don't know how well you can see that. Anyway, all of this is crochet thread. Well, it's not crochet thread. It is weaving yarn. It is significantly smaller than your size 10 crochet thread. So this is Aunt Lydia's size 10 crochet thread. And what I used for these, I apologize if you saw my first video. I know they're not very good. They're going to get better, I promise. Anyway, let's see if this will focus. Okay, so each stitch is 3 different yarns held together. There is a green 16-3. I believe the white is a 10-2. And I think the cream is an 8-2. But they're all 100% cotton. And they're all slightly smaller than the size 10 crochet thread. But the 2-ply cotton, I'll do a video at some point on plies, but a 2-ply, you're gonna have the 2 strands going next to each other, and even though they're both round, your overall yarn is gonna have like a flatter feel to it. And so even though like you can have the same exact strands, when you put them as a 2-ply versus a 3-ply, you actually get a softer feel in the 2-ply, because in the 3-ply you have like a triangular shape, and so when you run your fingers along it, you're always feeling like an extra edge. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but it does in my head, so we're gonna go with it for now. But anyway, so what I did was, for the top I have the white, the cream, and the green, and then when I got to the middle I cut the white and I added the brown in 8-2 cotton, and then down here I cut the cream and I added a dark green. I believe this was an 8-2 cotton. Yeah, okay, so anyway, but I like the way that it drapes. I like the feel. Again, like, it is pretty soft for cotton. If you're used to wool, you probably wouldn't be impressed, but I live in Southern California. It has been up to 106 this week. Last Sunday it was over 110 where I am at, so I am not wearing wool here. I am, and I will wear this for a picture. I will wear it in the air conditioning for like an hour at church, but I am not walking around in this all day. Not here, not now. So, but for cotton, this is not like dish towel cotton. So anyway, highly recommend. Again, those were old mill yarns, but I also buy a lot from Kansas Yarn Barn. I'll do a video on that at some point. But both companies are really good with customer service, with describing their product. They have a really good selection. And I just like working in cotton, and they make it possible because it's not stuff that you're going to find at like a lot of the box stores. Okay, so if you saw my first video where I did my Walmart haul, I got this wonderful dinosaur print fabric, and I am making a dress for my daughter. And this is a pattern that I drafted. I traced one of her shirts, I measured her and decided how long I wanted everything to be, and I got halfway through making this and my poor sewing machine decided to start having fits, and it needed to go in for a spa day. So I am currently down. I still have one sewing machine here. It's not my favorite, so I may honestly just wait until I get my machine back. But I went ahead, I did like I don't know if you can see this. This is the understitching. This is the lining on the bodice, and I just stitched down that edge by hand. And I know I totally used the wrong color, but I kind of liked the way that it looked. But I am probably going to wait for my machine to be back from getting serviced. I switched between the buttonhole stitch and the straight stitch, and it just didn't make a clean transition back. And yeah, it was overdue to get looked at anyway. So there's that, but I like how that dress is coming together. I do have the Clone Wars dress still that I'm working on. Again, I'm probably not going to make any more progress on that until I get my machine back. But last but not least, I'm going to try to keep this under 30 minutes. This is the Yarnspirations baptism / christening dress. It's a free pattern. I will link it at some point. And again, I apologize, I have not put links under any of my videos yet to any of the patterns or anything that I have talked about. I didn't block this. This looks really bad, but it's really not. Anyway, I cannot add the links on my phone because it's just really hard to type on, so I will be doing that on my laptop, and I just haven't gotten a chance to do that yet. And it's been a week since my first video, so please bear with me, be patient, treat me well. Okay, but anyway, this pattern, I didn't like it at first. I thought that it was going to look dated, I thought it was going to be too stiff, and then anytime you're working on like a skirt panel, like for a doll dress or for a toddler dress or even for like an adult dress, a lot of times skirt panels look huge. And it's really easy to think like, oh, I'm going to take rows out. But I resisted the temptation because I've done that, and I've ended up with skirts that are way too narrow. And I really think I am going to like the way that this looks when it is finished, because it does have a good drape. I don't know if you can see that. It has a good drape. It's very, very full. I mean, a baptismal gown is supposed to be extra, so it's got that going for it. It's got, I don't know if you can see, this is the right side of the fabric. It has these puff stitches, which are going to have ribbon woven through them, so there's going to be some extra detail there. But what I really love is I love the way the lace on the bottom is turning out. And so this is the bottom of the row, and then this is where the lace started, and this is just the beginning. I have a ton more to do, and I might honestly double the lace because I like lace, but I'm very pleased that I kept going. I was so tempted. I got a couple of these repeats done, and I was about to frog the whole thing, and I kept going because I didn't want to quit. I'm actually working the whole project in a much smaller size thread, and I like the way that that's going too, but overall I am very pleased with this. And we are at, I just went over 30 minutes, but anyway, since I mentioned it, I will tell you why you will never see a yarn wall on this channel. I love them, I think they're pretty to look at, but if you notice, I'm sure you've noticed my lovely surroundings, and you've noticed my giant machine. This is pretty much an industrial space. When the big machine is running, there's lint everywhere, like you have to clean constantly, but there's imagine like the lint when you're using one machine, and then this is 12. So I have to be very conscious of dirt and dust and lint. So I clean before I start working, I clean while I'm working, and then I clean when I'm done. And I keep all of my fabric, I keep all of like my embroidery thread, I keep my yarn. There's a fly in here, oh my goodness, that is gonna drive me insane. Anyway, I keep all of my supplies in boxes, and I mostly keep what I am going to use immediately, and I keep some of it in the house and I keep some of it out here, but for the most part the stuff that is out here is like immediate use only. So yeah, right now I have I've got like some 30 weight cotton because I have some embroidery patterns that I've been trying out recently that call for that. And I have some off colors for the polyester embroidery thread, but I don't actually keep any yarn out here, and I don't really keep a lot of it. Oh fly, come on, really? Anyway, so I keep a lot of my yarn. I'll keep it like in a clean plastic bag, like a Ziploc bag, and then I'll have a whole bunch of bags inside of a box, just because I want to keep it clean. And then I am typically, I've gotten to the point now where I am slightly faster using up my stash, and so I don't anticipate on having any of my yarn for a really long time. I think that right now this may be what I've had the longest. I take that back. I have a skein of Bernat Baby that I got maybe September or October last year, but then I bought this in May. Okay, and then I had a big order come in this month, and then I just bought this, and that's all my yarn. And I love to see creators sitting with their yarn stashes. I love to look at my stash. I love to paw through the bags in the box. But I just, with the nature of what I do, and having little kids on top of that, the kids don't typically come in here. They'll come in here for a minute or two with me. They're never in here when the machines are on. And that's just safety. And when the machines are on, I am not filming, I am paying attention, my hair is up, I am dressed appropriately, there are no long flowy clothes, I am not wearing jewelry. There's some pieces on this machine, I don't know how well you can see it, but like there are like big rods like connecting different things, there's a lot of movement, so yeah, I don't have anything loose, and I don't want all the dust that gets kicked up to end up on any of my pretty things, so that is why I do not display them. But one day I will have space where I can maybe like put up some cubes and have a nice pretty backdrop, but for now this is what I'm working with. And in case you haven't watched my other videos, this machine is Bertha, and I love Bertha. So anyway, but that is all I have for tonight. I will be back later with updates on my progress on different things, and I don't know if I mentioned, I will be taking pictures of the shawls, and I will be sending them to Crafting Corner for her Bag O' Day spotlight, and I will be probably sending them to KS Mom Crochets for her weekly video where she does everybody's projects. I love both of those channels. I've really been enjoying the kids projects and the doll dresses on KS Mom Crochets, and I'm getting a kick out of the humor on Crafting Corner or Crafting Kitty, because they crack me up, especially the videos with her and her husband going back and forth. That's funny. When my husband and I buy yarn, it's just me saying, can I put this in the cart, and him saying yes. So anyway, I enjoy listening to that, but I will be back later, and please like and subscribe. Tell me what you want to see, and yeah, I'll see you later.